So let's talk about this right now, about the fact that Navalny has got basically um, he's got basically added another term for his um, for his already extremely harsh sentence, and his sentence, why? Because he's an opposition candidate, the first one to ever like really amass quite a lot of following, right? And the first one that Kremlin actually started to be afraid of, right? And in April, there was a sort of like a provocation staged by the head, basically, of the penal colony where Navalny is, and he's being like subjected to this kind of a torture, where in a small room, in a small confined space, where he is being where he lives, basically, right? Um, they put like a awfully stinking man with him, basically, homeless man, essentially, to basically like to do this like basically like mental and psychological torture, essentially, because obviously in a small confined space, if there's a person who smells really bad, right, and so on and so forth, like it's like it's something to break you, basically, right? And so they've been doing it several times already to Navalny, but now basically they put that guy there, and they basically forced Navalny to kind of try to throw that guy out of that jail cell, I guess. I don't truly understand how exactly that particularly thing works, but the fact of the matter is that they wanted they wanted Navalny to basically use force against that man, which would justify basically taking extra actions against Navalny. And this is exactly what happened, basically, even though Navalny sort of said on camera, or I think on public, somehow, like a video registration system that's obviously in those colonies, in jails. He sort of refused to apply any force to that man. But and he said that, like, if he will be forced to enter that jail cell, he will have to sort of apply force to that person. And yeah, he basically stated all of that, but like obviously no one cares. That's what I'm saying, like, as long as you are outside of the jail, you should try to stay outside of the jail. Yeah, so whatever, like, he tried to be civil. He asked the administration of the policeman, basically, right, to actually take that guy out, blah blah blah. And yeah, so yeah, basically Navalny got thrown into that cell. Then he tried to throw out the guy, and after he sort of applied some force, he immediately was basically was well, punished, essentially. And yeah, um, essentially they want to sort of add up to 5 years to his sentence on top of that. And apparently, which is like a very recent news, on 26th of April, apparently they're trying, like, the government, right, this whole system is trying to, not trying, they have apparently opened the case against Navalny about terrorism. And yeah, so the prosecutor, right, like, basically said that now he's gonna have this case about terrorism, as if as if, like, sitting in a jail, being detained already, he somehow is creating some terrorist acts, or terakt, as it's called in Russian. And apparently he's facing up to life sentence, which is obviously like it doesn't matter anymore what kind of a jail time, what kind of a time sort of they this government, right? This Russian regime, it's not a government, it's a regime, right? Will give Navalny, right? Because it's totally like understood, I think, by everyone that Navalny will be jailed until this whole regime falls down completely, falls apart, and Russia disintegrates into something different, into hopefully, like I've said before in previous episodes, hopefully that Russia will lose this war against Ukraine and disintegrate into, like, I don't know, 10 different republics. This is what's needed for this country, 100%, for the whole world, to be honest. Would be great if something like that happened to China as well, but you know, we're talking about Russia right now, so it's totally understood that Navalny will be in jail until this regime exists. It's just I think it's dumb what he's done. I think it's dumb what he's done in terms of returning back to Russia after he's been poisoned already, after he's experienced near death, and then he comes back and then he goes into jail. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's it's a smart move at all, whatsoever, to be honest. Because, well, yeah, like you've turned yourself into a martyr, right? But what exactly does it solve? Like, you are ruining your health. Like, you can even lose your life in the jail without ever being able to get out of there, because who knows how long this whole regime will actually exist in Russia. Because some regimes, look at North Korea, some regimes do exist for a long time. Dictatorship regimes, that is, right? Or wherever, some Saudis or some other sort of really shitty places. So yeah, and you have wife, you have daughter. Like, I don't think any sort of political aspirations are worth losing, your own life, and worth losing sort of ability to be with your loved ones. I don't think this is smart at all, but whatever. And while we're still sort of on this topic, I'm gonna show you one more example of what happens when you show your position, basically. Show that you are not a piece of shit human being. Okay.